have been teaching yoga, I've been doing massage therapy, I've been doing energy work, and I've been teaching meditation and practicing all these things, for 30 something years now. And so anyway, what I find with the practices is that you can pick and choose what works for you, right? You can do the things that help you. You can, leave things, that don't seem to benefit you. But what I find that helps everyone is the breathing techniques. Just learning how to pay attention to your breath and to how to breathe in a way that is more optimal to calm your nervous system, right? So we're breathing all the time, but we're not necessarily paying attention to how we're breathing. So breathing is a tool you have with you at all times, and you can actually start changing the way you feel by how you're breathing. So when you're feeling anxious, you can use breathing techniques to help calm you down. You can use it. I use it when I'm driving in traffic, and I'm running late, and I feel my heart rate start going up or whatever, or my blood pressure going up. And so I just start doing this slow breathing, and that actually helps calm me down. So basically the goal is to have a nervous system that's in a place of homeostasis, right? But depending on what we're going through, in our lives, that is going to fluctuate. Sometimes our nervous system is gonna, get into a place where it's reacting, by what, through what the experiences that we're having. The movement that I teach is also based on what I like to do is focus on the lymph, moving the lymph. Basically, when the lymph gets stagnant, the lymph system is our cleansing system. It cleans our system. It gets rid of things we don't need, right? So a little bit of movement is helpful for helping move the lymph through your body. And then, of course, meditation. For most people that I talk to that haven't meditated a lot, or they've tried it, or they've never tried it, they basically will say things like, "Oh, I'm not good at meditating because my mind never stops." And that's normal, because the mind's default setting is to wander, right? And that's what the mind does. But meditation teaches us to pay attention to what the mind is doing. So it's nothing more than paying attention to your mind and the fluctuations of your mind. And then noticing if your mind is getting stuck, it's, kind of like, getting stuck in a rut and always like cycling through the same thoughts. And those can be maybe not beneficial to your well-being, is by recycling these thoughts. So the meditation can teach us how to maybe let go of some of these thoughts, but just allow yourself to be paying attention to what you're thinking and then having ways to respond to that. So I thought what I'd do today is take you through a little bit of breathing and a little bit of self-massage and a little bit of movement, so just a little bit so that you can get a taste for what I do in my classes. So you can sit comfortably, whatever is comfortable for you. Feel your feet on the ground. If your feet are touching the ground, just press your feet into the floor, wiggle your toes a little bit, get connected to your feet. And then just shrug your shoulders towards your ears and then just let them go. Just shrug and let go. And then one more time, shrug and let go. Good. And then just pay attention to your breath. You can keep your eyes open or closed, doesn't matter. Just notice where in your body you feel the breath. Do you feel it more through your belly? Do you feel it more through your chest? Do you feel it more through your nostrils? Wherever it is that you feel the breath the most, just keep your attention there for the next 3 breaths. And then just slow the breath down. so that each inhale and each exhale lasts just a little bit longer. By paying attention to your breath, you're bringing your awareness into the present moment. I'm just noticing your breath coming in and going out and slowing the breath down so that you can maybe mentally count to yourself, inhaling 2, 3, 4, exhaling 2, 3, 4. Now, maybe you don't get all the way to the count of 4, and that's fine. And if you're feeling anxious, you can make your exhale a little bit longer than your inhale. So try that a few times. Just slowly inhaling. You can mentally count to yourself the length of your inhale. And then slowly exhaling, mentally counting the length of your exhale. If you're finding that trying to slow the breath down makes you more anxious, just come back to a breath that's comfortable for you. At the end of your next inhale, just gently hold the breath for a moment, just pausing and holding the breath for a moment. And then slowly exhale, and at the end of your exhale, pause and hold the breath out for a moment. And then do that 3 more times. Inhaling slowly, pausing at the end of the in-breath, exhaling slowly, pausing at the end of the out-breath. And after you've done that a few times, just come back to a natural breath without the holds. And I'm going to have you do just a little bit of movement with the breath. So as you're inhaling, you can sweep your arms up as you're inhaling. And as you're exhaling, you can release your arms down. Now, if your shoulders hurt when doing this, you can bring the arms forward instead of out to the sides. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the arms down. Do it a couple more times. Inhale the arms up. Exhale the arms down. One more time. Good. And then just rest for a moment. So moving with your breath is another way to calm the nervous system. So now we're just do a few neck stretches. So a lot of us hold tension like in the neck and shoulder area. So try to sit tall. Then gently bring your chin to your chest and then gently roll your head. So one ear goes towards one shoulder. And then gently chin to your chest again and roll the head the other direction, the ear towards the shoulder. And then just do that a couple more times, side to side. Nice and slow. If there's any area of the neck that feels tight, you can pause, let it stretch a little more. And you have lymph nodes through the neck and jaw area. So by doing this movement, you're actually beginning to move the lymph in the jaw area. Good. And then coming back to center. And now as you inhale, just look up, chin up. As you exhale, look down, chin down. So now we're doing flexion extension with the neck. Inhale, you don't have to go to your full range of motion. And just exhale, nice and slow movement. Notice how your neck is feeling as you're doing this. Should not be painful, but you may feel there's some tightness in parts of your neck. Notice the right side, the left side. Notice the base of your skull as you're moving. Good, and then come back to center, and now we'll add a little rotation. So sitting tall, shoulders relaxed, just take your head and turn it one direction, looking over your shoulder, and then gently turn your head looking over the other shoulder. And now do this with your breath. You can inhale looking one direction. You can exhale, look the other direction. Do it a couple more times with your breath. Inhale one way. You may notice that it's a little easier to turn your head one way. So it's very common to have one side move a little bit better than the other. So without judging it, just noticing it. What's going on in the neck? Good. And then come back to center. Take a breath, roll your shoulders, and then roll your shoulders the other direction. Now I'm going to do one of Sherry's favorites, is take one hand to your opposite shoulder and just squeeze and release. There's a muscle at the top called the upper trapezius. So you just squeeze and release. Now notice if that muscle feels like soft, brand new Play-Doh, or if it feels like Play-Doh that's been behind the TV for a year, right? So just notice how that muscle feels. We tend to hold a lot of tension up here. And then you can even squeeze the side of your neck a little bit. You can reach the fingers around to the back of the neck. You can move your head. You can move your shoulder as you're massaging, and just notice how that feels. So you're just giving yourself a nice little self-massage here. And then release that and notice how that feels on that side. Does it feel different than the other side? Mine always feels a little softer. It feels like that shoulder is further down now. So go ahead and do the other side. So just squeeze and release. Of course, it feels nice when other people do this for us, but we always have the ability to do it for ourselves. I do this one every day and maybe several times a day. So I think a lot of times, and I hear from, my students and my clients that, they have a lot of tension through the neck and shoulders. So a lot of us hold tension here. You can move your shoulder, you can move your head, you can massage the neck a little bit. So you decide what you need today and just notice if the one side feels different than the other. Good, and then release that and just notice. I always like to sigh afterwards, so you can let out a and just notice. And then I'm gonna finish up with just some hand exercises. So just spread your fingers really wide and then make fists. Spread wide and make fists. Spread as wide as you can. Make fists and circle so you get some movement through the wrists. And then circle the other direction. And then bend your wrists back and forward. And back and forward. Bend your wrists back and open and stretch through your fingers, and then forward and wiggle your fingers. Go back and open and stretch, and forward and wiggle. Go back and open and stretch, and forward and wiggle. And then make fists and go side to side. Keep going side to side. Open your hands like you're doing little karate chops with your hands. And then pause, spread your fingers again, and this time keeping your palms open, squeeze your fingers together. Spread as wide as you can, and then squeeze together. And then spread wide, squeeze together. Now, something a little different. Separate your middle fingers, coming into the Vulcan signal of live long and prosper. You may notice it's easier to do on one hand than the other, or both hands may be difficult. And then you can shake that out a little bit, and then turn your palms up and start with your pinky finger. Just fold your pinky finger in, your ring finger, your second finger, your first finger, and then palms down. Start with your index finger, one finger at a time. And then palms up, start with your pinky finger, one finger at a time, and then palms down. So we have a lot of joints, a lot of little muscles in the hands. Sometimes we get arthritis in the hands and fingers. So this helps to increase circulation. Good, you can shake that out a little bit, and then press your index finger and your thumb together. Just gently press. And then your second finger and your thumb, press. And then your ring finger and your thumb, press. And then your pinky finger and your thumb, press. Hold this for a moment. And then go back to your ring finger, press. And then to your second finger, press. And then to your index finger. Now take your index finger and slide it down to the base of your thumb, and then back up again. Take your second finger, slide it down to the base of your thumb, and back up again. And then your ring finger, slide it down, and back up again. And the hardest one for me, slide it the pinky finger down and then back up again. Good. You can shake that out a little bit, and then you can interlace your fingers. Turn your palms out and just stretch. And then you can inhale and stretch your arms. You may not go all the way up, but just take a nice stretch, take a deep breath, and then exhale, release your arms. And now interlace your fingers your second favorite way. Turn your palms out. Inhale and stretch up. Exhale and release. Roll your shoulders. Good. And then just take a moment to notice how you feel in your body. You can close your eyes for a moment and just allow yourself to rest into the support of your skeletal system. Allow your muscles to soften, letting go of any unnecessary holding. Imagine your skin just draping over you and each pore breathing. Imagine your organs are floating inside of you. Imagine your lungs filling and emptying as you breathe. And even imagine the lungs filling in the back body. 60% of your lungs are in your back body. Imagine your heart is gently rocking on top of your breathing diaphragm like a boat on calm waters. Soften your jaw, letting your teeth separate slightly. And soften your tongue, letting your tongue float or rest lightly on the roof of your mouth. Soften your eyes, the bridge of your nose, your temples. And just take a moment to rest. Noticing the rhythm of your breath coming in and going out. Kind of like the current of the ocean pushing the water into the shore and back out again into the ocean. All of life moves, and we are all connected and interconnected through the rhythms, through the movements. Just rest with a sense of unity and connection with all. From each cell in your body to each star in the sky and everything in between. And whenever you're ready, you can gently open your eyes, reorienting yourself into the space around you. At the end of each yoga class, I like to offer the word namaste. The word namaste means I honor the light in you. Namaste. Does anybody have anything you want to ask? Or?
I always forget when you're having anxiety, is it that you do a longer exhale or a longer inhale? So you inhale normally.
Yeah, longer exhale. And you can overall slowing the breath down is helpful. Just letting it be a little longer, a little slower, and then the exhale a little bit longer than the inhale if you're feeling anxious.
Okay.
Does somebody else have a question?
Katherine, do you offer guided meditations online?
I do, actually. And that class is, it's on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I'm not sure where everybody is here, but 10 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesdays. And it's a 50-minute class. And it's before my chair class, so they're the same day. But I do a guided meditation where I take you through a body relaxation first, and then I take you through some sort of visualization, relaxing visualization. And then the last part, we do some silent meditation just for about 6 minutes at the end.
Thank
So
you.
You can email me and just request the meditation if you'd like to come to that.